Meaning, if your baby daddy is right here, ranked right here, that means this is your level. The best you could get was a man to make a baby with us right here. So you don't get to make a baby with a man here and then go up here for a man to provide for him. You don't get no higher than your baby daddy. Because the only thing that's happened is you're older. So you keep saying, how do you go forward? You don't.
Oh, okay. So I'm just supposed to stay single for the rest of my life.
No, you should have married the man you had a baby with.
Ugh. It doesn't always work that way.
Okay, I don't understand why men are trying to understand why would you have a baby and then say, when somebody says you should have married before you had a child.
Because I'm not gonna go get an abortion every time somebody's getting pregnant, and the fact that
Well,
God
the 30 no, God didn't do shit. Don't put that on my God, your recklessness. There are 33 forms of birth control, plus the morning after pill.
Oh, that'll always work. Trust me.
Well, you know what does work? Abstinence.
And I've been doing that.
Well, but the problem is, man, you're a woman that says you have issues trusting people. You got 2 kids by 2 different men. One dude that neither one you speak highly of, and then you think you should be able to go out to the market and get a man at a higher level. That's somebody's child. That's a man who had to make himself. Why should a man do that and you're not willing to settle?
Well, you know what? That's another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because of the fact that, like, once my kids get older, that's cool.
What are you doing?
Working and taking care of my kids and putting my kids first. Giving them a life that I...
Okay, but do you have a choice to do anything else?
Oh.
Do you have a choice? I mean, it's like women say you're doing that like it's some badge of honor, but because you can't be out here dating the kind of man that you want.
I mean, I possibly could. It's just that I don't try because of the fact that...
Because you'd fail. Women don't like rejection.
I like,
man,
right about that.
I know. Man, you can't get out. Okay, let's be real. The way you come in and talk about, well, how do we move forward? Why do you feel like you get to move forward after you've made permanent decisions with men you don't speak too highly of?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, Cap Social Network. And this is exactly why, ladies and gentlemen, I truly miss Mr. Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace, always, Mr. Kevin Samuels. Also, I want to also state how he was speaking 100% facts, because he not only talked about how the lady who he interviewed on his, I guess you could say, podcast, which is from, of course, while he was alive. Anyway, he talked about to her how, first and foremost, she has 2 kids by 2 different dudes that she hates. Also feels like even if she's not with those dudes anymore and feels the way that she does about them, to sum it all up in a nutshell, she still has this high sense of entitlement, to whereas she could go out on the dating market and still be able to pour herself or run into a high value man. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly the same exact kind of mentality that so many other women have when fatherless children, women that are baby mamas. And man, do I hate using that term with a passion, just due to how it makes our race look so bad. In the same breath, there are so many women, folks, that have kids who they had, in most cases, so many sisters, so many black women who have had kids by guys they regretted having kids by, yet and still in the same breath take full pride and honor in being women, unmarried women with kids, aka baby mamas, to the extent that even Fantasia one time made a song on behalf of how women need to acknowledge that women that are single mothers being a single mother, aka baby mamas, and not realizing how, once again, bad that makes the African American race look. I mean, because our race is already screwed up enough to begin with no hope of just absolutely no hope of our race improving in the time soon. Although this is a whole different topic for a whole different video, yet and still it's the God honest truth. Our race is so dysfunctional, so messed up on all levels, specifically on behalf. And with that being said, how we have so many fatherless kids in our community. And this is one reason why, after listening to this last clip via TikTok, folks, excuse me, because I'm a little bit under the weather, this exactly is one prime example of how and why, both how and why, there are over 70%, possibly 80 by now, of so many African American kids that usually grow up fatherless in fatherless homes. And it's also due to the choices our women, our black women, make in the types of men they choose to have kids by. I will not quit stressing it enough. I don't care how offended some of you women get. Just like how Kevin Samuels didn't care how offended you get, nor was he afraid to bite his tongue. This has to be addressed. This is a serious, quote unquote, elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen, specifically to all my black women, because y'all pick some of the most bottom of the barrel, lowest value men to have kids by, only for things to go left with those men. You go your separate ways after having kids for those men. All of a sudden, you want to usually have these high expectations and standards of being able to choose a high value man. And in most cases, a high value man, in other words, a man making $100,000 or more. In some cases, a man that's making over $1 million, and men that have usually several other options of women to choose from. In most cases, women without kids, and especially if he's a man of high value, a successful man of high value without kids of his own. You women are so delusional, a lot of you black women, to the extent that it will be more and more, I could imagine, brothers trying to refrain from dating women with kids, especially brothers who don't have kids of their own. And I look at it from this aspect, just like if more black women were to start going for more men that carry themselves in a much more civilized, dignified, and upstanding manner, then more men would stop trying, more black men, that is, will stop trying to be or portray the image of a gangbanger, of a rapper, of a drug dealer. Well, with that being said, because I just had to throw in this analogy, if more brothers was to just use more common sense, especially, and I'm referring to specifically my brothers without kids of their own, were to stop selling for women all the time with kids, in most cases, kids from multiple men, who knows, there will be possibly, in my personal honest opinion, more and more women to wait to have kids, for the most part, to wait until they were to marry, then have kids. So they could be able to create, both them and the guys they were to meet without kids were to be able to create their very own family together and build them from their own a solid foundation in the process. Anyway, you guys make sure you like the video, you share, you comment on it, last but not least, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, you guys have a blessed day.